you're anything like me, you probably have a tendency to overthink the situation. And when you're facing some of these meta defenses that seem very minimal in terms of what their setup is, sometimes the answer to beating that is right in front of you, and it's equally as basic. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a way that when you're facing a cover 2 or a cover 2 blitz style defense, you can load up a quick one-play touchdown with a simple seam route. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Dan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be teaching you how to attack cover 2 over the middle of the field behind the user. Now, when you're facing a Tampa 2 style defense, or maybe that 2-4-5 odd pinch 2 meta, you guys probably have a little bit of a problem throwing the ball over the middle of the field for fear of a user, or for a number of different reasons. You're worried about a safety that might creep down in the box, maybe some micro adjustments that your opponent might put on the field, but don't worry about that. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a simple seam route where if you can get a step on any type of man coverage that might be individually manned up on you, or if the guy runs free, he's going to have an inside pass lead for a one-play score. So let's first and foremost show you what the route that you need to look for is, and then you can kind of look to find advanced forms of this route off of that you might utilize via motion. So I'm in the Seattle Seahawks offense here in this video, and we are going to be taking a look here at the trips, tight end offset. This is actually a really, really good formation for right now, the way the game plays. You've got the run commit glitch. A lot of players do like to run that run commit glitch against inside zones, and there is an inside zone RPO alert bubble. As you guys know, RPOs are not affected by the run commit glitch, so if they try that, you'll be able to run the ball without them run committing. But this formation also has a really, really nice route that you can utilize against a cover 2 blitz. And it is the route that is in the middle of the play, tight end in. So what we're going to be doing here is calling this play, and I'm going to run this against just a variety of different cover 2s here. So I'm going to go into concepts, and I'm just going to choose random cover 2. And I'm going to put the ball here where I'm kind of throwing this to the wide side of the field. And the reason you might want this route on the wide side of the field is that a deep half found in a cover 2 has to fan out closer to the sideline. So if you were to kind of scrunch this route combo into the short side of the field, also known as the boundary, this is actually going to have a little bit less of an application for you from a competitive standpoint. However, when you run this to the wide side of the field, the safety is going to basically stay on the outside shoulder of this seam route. Now, provided that you are able to pick up the rush, you're gonna be able to throw this as an easy inside pass lead down the seam.
My lord.
So I'm gonna snap the football here, and you're gonna watch Scotty Miller run, and he's just gonna get down the field, and we're just gonna rip this inside pass lead. It's almost like a skinny post, and it ends up being a touchdown. You don't even need a wide fade on this play, although you could use one if you wanted to. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and put kind of a double vertical concept here to the wide side of the field, again, known as the field side. And again, if they run any type of cover 2, I'm just going to keep the pass rush off of me here. You're going to have Scotty Miller running. He's going to get behind that vert hook, inside pass lead. And you see how when you put that sideline fade or streak on the field, the deep half has to really hedge out even more. So you can make this throw easily without the sideline fade. However, it is much better against a cover 2 with the sideline fade. So again, I'm going to show this to you. Scotty Miller, he's going to run this little fade inside pass lead, and you just see how open he was. In fact, right there, the safety in the deep half actually had to get out further because that seam route got bumped off of his assignment, and it actually created more room underneath of the deep half for us to complete this ball. So you see right here in the cover 2, when we talk about this seam route, he ends up getting jammed a little bit off of his release, or bumping into the guy a little bit. And this deep half basically slides over the top into the outside of the numbers, or running, on the outside portion of the numbers to respect the verticality of Mike Evans on the fade. That opens up a ton of terrain behind the vertical hook, and also behind the mid-read zone, which is found right here in this Tampa 2, for us to thread this seam ball. And you see right here that I was then able to make a spin move back to the outside, and then turn it up the sideline for the one-play score. If you guys are enjoying this free YouTube content, I would strongly urge you to go over to my strategy website. GridironGamePlans.gg is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active, and access to our Discord server, where every single Wednesday we have a live lab session covering the week's vault content and any questions you guys have about Madden. So make sure you guys head over to gridirongameplans.gg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. So this is kind of the route that you're going to be looking for. This route is also found in the trips tight end formation, which is very, very popular right now in the play verticals. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to run this from the bunch. So again, staying in the Seattle playbook here, I'm going to go over to the bunch tight end, and you'll see here that they've got this play known as clear out, split end out. This is actually a really, really popular beater. It's actually a match one play touchdown with the hot route master. If you put that red route on a corner, it beats match for a one play score. However, against cover two, this is also very, very useful. And the reason that you want this is that you're going to be able to kind of thread the middle of the field. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call dollar. I'm just going to call kind of a cover two out of this. Obviously DB Fire 2 is pretty popular. So a lot of people like to run DB Fire 2 because it mimics that, 2-4-5 odd pinch 2 meta where they kind of run down at the center. So what's really, really cool about this is the user doesn't get back in this meta, right? A lot of times they take that first step down and at the center. So a lot of times they kind of stand right here. And when the ball's snapped, they swoop. And the reason they swoop is that it's designed to try to get that nose tackle off of his block. So if I were to just run this play like this, a lot of times when you snap the football, I'm going to run with Alexander. I want you to watch the center on this nose tackle and see if we can get a disengage. So you kind of just run at him, and right here, it actually secured it pretty well. But in general, that is kind of how people will run at the center to see if they can cause a disengage. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. The overall point though, however, is that they tend to run down at the line of scrimmage rather than using the seam. And then after they swoop, they run back to the middle of the field. Oftentimes that's too late to really hold a route that's running the seam. So naturally what a lot of players will do is they'll walk these safeties down, which kind of hides the seam just a little bit while they are doing the swoop trick. So they run this, ball snap, they swoop, and then they try to recover back, and then hopefully pressure loops in while they're looping back. So that's kind of the design of this defense. Now that's where this seam route is going to kind of help us out, because what we can effectively do with this is basically, even when they walk the safeties down in this, I'm going to go ahead and reset my play here. Even when they want to base align press and walk these safeties down, this seam route actually does a really, really good job of still getting that great inside leverage. So if I were to go ahead and run this play, you see I've got the fade to Evans on the outside. You could do whatever you want with the rest. In fact, I would probably run a corner route to widen out that safety on the right side. And then you could kind of do whatever with the tight end, the running back. If you feel comfortable picking this up with just 5 blockers, it's kind of up to you. You'll get a feel based off of how the game goes. You might go ahead and put the tight end on a drag underneath, or maybe a baby in route, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to motion this guy on this seam across, and now he's got the same route that we started off with in this particular breakdown. Rather than it being a fade that fades to the outside when you run it over here on the bunch side, now the way the route breaks is it's going to get crazy inside leverage. And it basically, if you can sneak to the inside hip of that low safety that we've walked down, that's going to allow you to thread that ball behind him. So you're going to see right here, we snap the football, and then you're going to be able to kind of throw this ball back in behind that player. Now you see Antonio Brown was unable to outrun Quan Alexander. Keep in mind that the player that matched on that play was in fact the user. And again, because a lot of times players are running this, they take this user and they swoop at the center. That's going to allow this guy to get behind, and basically makes that a one-play score. So they're going to have to manually guard that particular route. So let me go ahead and kind of set this up again. If I were to kind of run it like you see here, where they kind of swoop with this guy and then they walk these safeties down. The safety thing is just to deter the inside pass lead off the line. So if I were to go ahead and run something like, kind of like this, when this ball ends up getting snapped, you can let him set or not set. That's up to you. When this ball gets snapped and they do this swoop, now all of a sudden they can't get back. So now I can't switch my hand over to the other controller, but that inside pass lead is going to be wide open. So that ends up being a one-play score if they don't have a middle third in between their Tampa 2. So let me kind of show you, if I were to call an actual Tampa 2 right here, and I don't have, I don't have one. Let me go back into the play call menu. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So here, for instance, is a Tampa 2 out of this formation. If I'm running the clear out split end out right here, and I take this mid-read defender and I put him into a middle third, that might be where you start to see this defend this a little bit better. So now you've got a guy dedicated to the deep middle inside third of the field, and that's going to allow you to kind of defend that a little bit better. So now when I snap this ball, Antonio Brown is running down the middle of the field. You see that throw ends up being bracketed by the vert hook and by the mid-read zone. Now, again, if your opponent is running that cover 2 blitz meta where they're kind of set up, with something that looks kind of like, like this, where they're going to be swooping, that's not possible. So again, if you're facing that 2-4-5 odd, or if you're facing that, dollar DB strike 2 with no middle third, this is stealing. I mean, it's literally stealing, because they're going to kind of end up swooping down at the line, and I'm not going to be able to do that here, but they're going to kind of drop to the inside of the line, so they kind of end up here. I mean, that's going to make this just an easy one-play score down the middle, provided there's no shed on the play. And again, you don't have to send everybody out. You could block 7 on this and just let this throw rip while they're running down at the line. If there's no middle third, you're going to end up having a bare minimum, like a 40 or 50 yard gain, if not a one-play score. So hopefully you guys are going to use this. It's something so simple. I think people kind of gloss over it. You can find these seam routes all over the game. I mean, if you look in the some of the spread sets in this game, you're bound and determined to find a seam route. I mean, you take a look right here, this play Y seam. It's that exact route where it gets nice inside leverage on a deep half. And unless there's a middle third back, deep in between that cover 2, those 2 deep halves, you're going to have a chunk yardage play. They're going to have to use it. And if they're looping at the line to guarantee pressure, they're just giving you yards, even if they walk the safety down. So that is today's video. Guys, tomorrow will be the beginning of our Madden 101. This is going to be a brand new series that I'm doing that's going to break down basic football, apply it to the video game. It might not necessarily be a video game tip. It might be just teaching you what a coverage should do, even if it doesn't do it in Madden. This is going to help serve as a foundation for the forever, the rest of your Madden career, and also hopefully help you with what you're watching on Saturdays, Sundays as well. So I'm really excited. We're going to be doing the first Madden 101 series. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and make sure you guys like, comment, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until I really just coughed. Edit that out.
You have no power here, Gandalf the Grey.